The Israelites were very sad. They lived in Egypt as slaves. A mean Pharaoh ruled over them. He made them work very hard. They had to make bricks all day long in the hot sun. Life was very hard for the Israelites. They prayed to God for help. "Please, God, hear our prayer," they cried. "Please, set us free." They waited and hoped for a miracle. God heard their prayers. He saw their suffering. God had a plan to free his people. He would send them a leader, a brave man named Moses. One day, God spoke to Moses. Moses was tending sheep near a mountain. He saw a bush that was on fire, but it was not burning up. Moses went closer to look. "Moses, Moses," a voice called from the bush. Moses was afraid, but he listened. It was God speaking to him. God told Moses to go to Pharaoh. "Tell Pharaoh to let my people go," God said. Moses was scared, but he knew he had to obey God. He bravely set out to face Pharaoh. Pharaoh was a stubborn man. He refused to let the Israelites go. So God sent 10 plagues to Egypt. The plagues showed Pharaoh how powerful God was. The Nile River turned to blood. Frogs hopped everywhere. Flies and locusts swarmed the land. But Pharaoh still refused to listen. Finally, God sent the worst plague of all. The firstborn child of every Egyptian family died. Pharaoh was terrified. He finally agreed to let the Israelites go. They packed their belongings and left Egypt in a hurry. They were finally free. Section 4. Flight from Egypt. The Israelites journeyed through the desert. They were happy to be free, but they were also scared. The desert was a dangerous place. Soon, the Israelites heard a terrifying sound. It was the sound of Pharaoh's chariots. Pharaoh had changed his mind. He was coming after them with his army. The Israelites were trapped between Pharaoh's army and the Red Sea. They were terrified. "Don't be afraid," Moses said. "God is with us. He will save us." Section 5. A miraculous escape. Moses raised his staff and pointed it at the Red Sea. Suddenly, a powerful wind began to blow. The water began to part. A dry path appeared through the middle of the sea. The Israelites marched through the Red Sea. They walked on dry ground with walls of water on either side. When they were all safely across, Moses raised his staff again. The walls of water crashed down on Pharaoh's army. Pharaoh and his soldiers were swept away. The Israelites were safe at last. They sang and danced with joy. They thanked God for their miraculous escape.